Okay, Megan, I looked at your last quiz, and here are the problems that you had incorrect on it, and I'll try to explain them to you. So this first one, they gave you this equation, x minus 2 squared over 36 minus y plus 1 squared over 64 equals 1. And it asked you what the foci points were. Well, first off, because this is x minus 2 here, the center of it is going to be at 2 comma, and because that's a plus 1, it's 2 comma negative 1. So that's your x and y. Then, because this is 36, it's the positive part. This is the negative part here. So a is equal to 6, because it's the square root of that. B then is equal to the square root of that, which is 8. And then to find the c value for a hyperbola, since there's minus in between, you have to take 6 squared plus 8 squared, because you do the opposite of what's there. If this were an ellipse, if that was a plus sign in between, a and b would still be 6 and 8. Or no, actually it would be the other way around. A would be 8 and b would be 6, because a is always the bigger value in an ellipse. Then when you figure out c in an ellipse, it's c squared equals a squared minus b squared. For a hyperbola, it's a squared plus b squared. So in this case, let's get rid of those things. 6 squared plus 8 squared is 100. And so there's c squared, so then c is equal to 10. Plus and minus, of course. And so since the center is at 2, negative 1, we know we have to go 10 from the center. And because x is first, it should be opening this way and that way, which then puts your values here and there if this is 2, negative 1. And that has to be 10, and that has to be 10. And so if you take 10 and add it to, you would get a vertice of 12, negative 1, and also subtract 10, which would be a negative 8, negative 1. And those would be the foci. The vertices in this case would be from here to there and there to there, and those points, they're 6 away from the center. So this vertex would be at 8, negative 1, and this vertex here would be 6 to the left, negative 4, negative 1. All right, that was that one. Here, then, it asks you to find all of these different things. First off, because it's x plus 1, your center is at a negative 1, comma, and since it's y minus 2, it's a negative 1, comma 2. Now in this case, the value of a is equal to that number, the square root of it, so a is 4. B, on the other hand, is 144. And C is equal to the square root of, no, back that up, I just messed up. This is 12. because that's the square root of 144. All right, so now c then would equal the square root of 16 plus 144. And let's see, 16 and 144 is 160. So the square root of 160, which you can simplify to c being plus and minus. Oh, what goes into 160? 10 and 16. So 4 square root of 10 is the value of c. So then, because y is first, that would tell you that it is a parabola that, or a hyperbola that looks like this. And so the vertices, are up and down from the center. And so since the center is a negative 1, 2, we have to go up and down 4 from there. So up 4 from there and down 4 from there. So you would have negative 1 comma 6 and negative 1 comma negative 2. And like I already said, it's a vertical because the y squared is first. And then when you sketch the graph of it, you've got your axis. Center is at a negative 1, 2. Up and down 4. Are the vertices. The foci points are up and down the 4 square root of 10 or the square root of 160, which the square root of 160 is like between 12 and 13. And so your focus points are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like right there, and then same thing down there. And now if you want to know how to draw the hyperbola, you have those asymptote thingies, which the slopes of the asymptotes, remember slope is the change in y over the change in x, and in this case the y value is this one. So here's your y value, so that would be 4, and your x value is this one, so 4 over 12, which is 1/3. So from this point right here, if you go up 1 and over 3, and up 1 and over 3, your asymptotes go like so, and up 1 and over 3 this way, and so then you have that going there. And so then your hyperbola does one of these things. And the same thing down here. It's going to come like that and go like that. All right, then with this one, it said which formula represents the hyperbola on the graph shown. Well, first off, it is an up and down one, so therefore y squared has to be minused by x squared, with a squared being here and b squared being there. So that eliminates this one, which is the one you chose. This one. Now then, figuring out all of this other stuff, well, somewhere in here has to be the center. Well, if you look at this point right here, this looks like negative 10 is the minimum, and here it doesn't get all the way down to 15, so that must be 16 to a negative 10 are the values. So that's, so then there, somewhere on there has to be the center. And then what's halfway between 16 and a negative 10? Well, if you take those two and add them together, that would become 6 divided by 2 is 3. So right there, that's up 3. So the y value has to be, center has to be 3. So that would be y minus 3, not y plus 3. And so this leaves you with this one as your only option. Now, the other things that you should know in this, and to help you figure out, since the center here is 3, this distance is 8. No, it's not 8. It's 13, because I can't add right at the moment. That's 13. And why is it 13? Well, because from 16 to a negative 10 is 26 total, so that means it's 13 from there to there, and it would be 13 from there to there. So that tells you then the value of A is 13. And since A is 13, when you write it into the equation, it becomes A squared, so it's got to be 169. Now, these other values that they give you, it's kind of hard to tell from this graph. That it's shifted to the left 2. But apparently it is, because the vertex looks like it's right here and right here. And I guess that does show you that it is left 2. And then you know that the center, like I said, is right there, and then those asymptotes go like that and like that. And since the A value is 13, and that's under Y, so the top number, the slope of the asymptote has to be 13 over something, so that's up 13 and over, it looks like a little more than, well, let's see, there's 5, and it's 2 more 7, and that looks like a couple more, so that's, looks like this number from here to there looks like somewhere around, well, it is 9. So then that's how you get this 81. But like I said, that's kind of tough to tell, but you really don't need to know any of those other things once you figure out that the center is left 3, or I mean up 3. And so then because it's up 3, it has to be y minus 3, and that's why you can eliminate a couple of those things. All right. Hopefully this will help you, and then you can do better on the quiz this next time. I will reset it for you here in a few seconds, and then you can take another shot at it. Okay.